When last we left off, the party had just defeated a couple of wizards in a cave with some undead minions, and they discovered that there is a white dragon somewhere nearby that they were looking to capture on behalf of Glothor.
So I believe that we've completed our short rest.
So yeah, you guys had your short rest and got your hit points back with hit dice. What are you going to do next?
Well, I don't think we can impersonate an emissary party, but was he even expecting the emissary party, like the White Dragon?
I doubt it. They said he was for Glothor. That doesn't mean that they reached him to speak with him.
It could mean that maybe he's dead, and they were going to resurrect a dragon skeleton.
Well, we haven't exactly been quiet, have we?
No, and white dragons blend very well with ice and snow, so he could be anywhere.
But the thing is, he could also not be here right now, or he could be taking a hell of a good nap and not have heard us. And I would then suggest our best course of action is just to quietly get the hell out of here.
What? And leave him to join the forces of darkness? Leave him to be recruited by Glothor and head to destroy Nordgard?
I think you've been affected by your granddad's stories. A white dragon ain't nothing for a beat-up group of us to take on.
What are you talking about? We had a rest. We're in tip-top fighting shape.
KJR just looks gobsmacked, almost like the jaw drops. I look appealingly to Ysmyr right now.
Tempus, if we can, I would prefer not to fight a dragon. But I'm also concerned that you're right about him, about Glothor's intentions with him. This is a tough situation, but I would rather you contain your desire to look for a fight right away.
The war leader has spoken.
Are you planning on recruiting him to Nordgard's side?
Honestly, I don't even know if he would listen. It would be great if we could at least get him against the undead and keep him that way. I doubt he would be willing to fully work with us or work with us at all. That's the problem. Kitira's not wrong.
And how do you plan on accomplishing either neutrality or allyship with this dragon?
Well, now, what is it that white dragons desire above all?
Hunting, treasure, the thrill of battle and slaying powerful foes.
Wouldn't Glothor qualify as more a powerful foe than even a city?
But he might not have treasure.
But Glothor can also promise all of that.
He's also not a living creature. Who knows if the thrill of the hunt would really apply to such as he?
I could try and play and persuade, but at the same time, that's a hell of a risk.
Well, at that point, we've given away any element of surprise, so either you'd better have a great diplomatic pitch or be ready for a fight.
Best I got right now is, should we get to where we're going and defeat the evil, he'd be left to continue his hunts as he wishes. We don't have anything to offer.
So is the plan to defeat Glothor now?
Well, I thought that's why we were heading up to the north with Rhodes.
And what are we going to do to defeat Glothor?
That's farther ahead than we've even gotten. I'm not hunting down a lich yet.
Excuse me for speaking out of place, but if we're looking to take the fight to Glothor, this seems like a prime opportunity. Not only can we destroy a potential ally of his, we can also avail ourselves of whatever resources this dragon might have. I understand not fighting at the lake, sort of. We decided that was too risky of a target of opportunity, but now that's something the city is going to have to deal with. If we leave here, there is such a great potential that we're leaving behind yet another threat for Nordgard. And how are the walls of Nordgard going to stop a dragon?
I think we should just currently proceed with caution and don't go picking a fight. I would like to know if Rashzamanaz is even in this cave system first. And from there, we can decide our course of action. But knowing that he's here, we should proceed without trying to draw attention to ourselves. And I think it would do us well to try, like all of us well, to try and come up with an idea on the way how we want to handle this, because we clearly don't have any ideas right now.
That's fair.
Tempus was also right about this. As a white, he lives for the hunt. He's not beholden to anyone or anything. He's dangerous. And he's a dragon. He's going to be cunning and intelligent. So we can't go into this expecting to be facing a beast. We are facing an intelligent being.
Aye, that's true enough.
Well, we know that the caves continue off in that direction for a ways, and Tempus will indicate the southeast. Should we do as I proposed previously and have the stealthiest members of the party steal ahead just briefly and then report back to see what's further on?
We could take a look. Absolutely. Yaereene, how do you feel about it?
I'll do my best. Yes, does that work?
Yeah, and I think it's best that I perhaps not be far behind.
Is anybody else going in the stealth group?
No, I don't have disadvantage on stealth, and I've got a pretty good stealth, so yeah, I'll go.
I think Rhodes and I should stay back. I think that we'd both like to, well, speaking for myself, I'd like to be moved to the next map, but I'm going to stay at the very entrance of it unless given some other sign. So I think we can all go to the next map, just Rhodes and Tempus, I think, should hang back. Yeah?
Yeah, like maybe not following right behind, but still trying to stay within a helpful distance.
Sounds good.
And do the three of us want to travel together, or do you want me to go ahead?
I think Yaereene ahead, Katira and Ysmyr kind of a middle ground, and then the guys behind.
How far back is a middle ground?
I'd like to be within 30 feet, if that works with you, Ysmyr.
How's Yaereene, our stealth master, feel about it?
My only concern is I want to make sure that, no offense, but you guys don't give me away if I'm going up ahead.
Is 60 feet better? I can still see you even if you're 120 feet ahead.
Probably, yeah.
If that's what you're good with, I'm good with it.
So us 60 feet and Tempus and Rhodes 30 feet from us. How's that? Or even more. Or Tempus, you dictate where Rhodes goes for now.
We'll hang back a goodly amount. We won't foul up your sneaking.
Okay, let's go with that. So Yaereene 60 feet, Ysmyr and Katira, and then the guys however far back they are.
Okay, well, I've only got so much map here. So pulling Tempus and Rhodes to the map, it looks like they're immediately behind you, but they're actually another 60 feet back from you guys.
Sounds good. I can see all of you.
So, Yaereene, as you travel deeper into these caves, the cold becomes quite heavy. There's fog throughout the cave, and ahead you can see a sheer wall of ice that isn't transparent, but you can tell that it's not the same as the walls that are to the north and south of you that are covered in a sheen of ice, but there's definitely stone behind them.
I try and watch for traps as I'm going. I'm not necessarily our best person, but I try and pay attention.
Okay.
Walls, floors, ceilings, everywhere. Just because sneaking into a dragon's cave sounds really scary to you.
Understandable. Okay, you can give me an investigation check. Looking around here, you're feeling fairly confident that you can see the floor through the ice underneath you. You don't see any spots where there's deformities in the ice that would lend itself to any kind of traps springing out at you or anything. So you feel like this area is fairly secure.
Can I hear any sounds?
Give me a perception check. No.
Okay. I'll continue creeping forward, both trying to pay attention and be stealthy, watch for traps, and listen for any dragons. She's really scared.
Okay.
This wall you said looks like it might have stone behind it.
Which wall?
The wall you described as being a wall of ice, but look, so that's just ice buildup on cavern walls is what it looks like to me. Is that correct?
To the north and south, yes. To the east, it looks different. It's not contoured to stone. It's just a sheer sheet of ice, and you don't see stone behind it.
Okay, well, I will sneak up closer to it.
Okay, can you give me a stealth roll?
Yep. Is that a doorway in the ice that I see, or is that not supposed to be seen by me?
The way that I've done this is that the sheer ice is going to show up as doors for you, but it's not a door. It's just something that I can easily open if you guys break it down or melt it or however you're planning on going through.
Sounds good, thanks. If I investigate, do I notice anything unusual about the ice at all?
You can give me an investigation roll. It is perfectly smooth. It's and as you get closer to it, you can tell that it is a pane of ice. It's not. There's nothing behind it, but you can't see anything beyond it.
And I would have never encountered anything this perfectly smooth in nature before, would I have?
Not that I can think of. No.
I will sneak back to the rest of the group and report on what I've got.
Ryan, can I do a nature check just to be sure? Because I, as a player, feel like this is part of the lair, but I want to make sure.
Sure. Yeah, you can tell that it's not naturally occurring ice.
No, you're right. That's not natural. That's likely at least one entrance into the more lair area of the dragons. And that's likely our only way in.
And probably we don't want to do anything noisy to melt that.
No.
Not if we don't want to draw attention right away. How thick did it look?
Ryan, do I have a feel for that?
Probably about a foot.
That's a dumb question. Are we trying to subdue the dragon or recruit the dragon?
Or do we just ignore it until I get my wand of fireballs back at least?
So you want us to just wait here for the rest of the day?
No, I'd rather we kip out of the bloody thing, so in case it wakes up and strolls out for a bit of exercise, it doesn't see us. There's woods close enough to us that we can lose ourselves in it and get back within a day without, like tossing more than one day out of our trip up north to Rhodes, destination for us.
Well, now we know where the entrance is, so do we need a rest or not?
We had a short rest, so we got our health back.
Yes, and I'm fine. But you and Rhodes are the ones of us who don't recover your magic as quickly.
I have very few spells as well.
So if everyone prefers, then we'll go back to Tempus and Rhodes and go set up camp outside the cave somewhere, if that makes you feel better. I'm not leading you all into this without you ready to go.
And honestly, I don't think Rhodes has many slots left, has many spells left either. She was throwing a lot of health around.
Okay, Ysmyr's going to walk back to Tempus and Rhodes and just talk to them and be like, so we found a potential entrance, or Yaereene found one through some ice. Our choices are try and get through it or go out, rest for the rest of the day and night, and then come back refreshed.
Well, obviously we should go through it.
After we rest, right?
No. We've already rested. We have the initiative. This is still a raid. If we go back and rest for 8 hours, who knows what could happen? Maybe the dragon tracks us back to our camp by our scent and falls upon us while we're sleeping.
I would be casting I'd be casting the tiny hut on us, so even if he does find us, he can't kill us before we're able to confront him fully rested, and everyone at their best.
And cornered in a small square, ready for his breath to just blow us away.
You're the war leader. You make up your mind.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
There are two ways that we could try and fight this dragon. I'm not sure if, honestly, this is the right warband to try and pursue the optimal way of doing so. A running battle leading him out of his lair. If you have the heavier, more armored types like Rhodes and myself in the front, we can be slowing down his advance while the rest of you rain magic and attacks upon him. We keep leading him onwards, burning his reactions and his attacks and staying spread enough apart that his breath weapon can't be brought to bear effectively. If we continue running and leading him out of the lair, we can hopefully mitigate the worst of the lair's effects on us while simultaneously engaging in the best possible fight that we can, where we shield ourselves from his attacks and fight from range.
The point I'm making is we don't have that many spells to rain upon him right now.
You don't need them. With minimal healing, with whatever few charges you have left in your wand, by forcing him into a bottleneck, we can minimize the amount of healing that the softer members of the party would require, while maximizing the efficaciousness of what spells you do have.
The issue is I've got the one charge, and if I use that charge, there's a decent chance it goes poof and I never have it anymore. I don't want to take that chance. If you guys outfit me.
Through all our fights, we are never going to be in a position where hoarding resources just in case is a good idea. I'm going to tell you that right now, Katira. You use what you have when you have it.
Yaereene, you're way smarter than I am, and you're my best half. What do you think we should do?
I'm honestly not sure. A dragon sounds pretty scary, but waiting also does too. I honestly don't know.
I think everyone is just at a point where we don't know what to do.
Now, Tempus knows what to do, but...
Well, Tempus knows what he wants to do.
Correct. Also, I will apologize out of game if I'm being a little bit off-putting or a little bit too aggressive. It seems silly to call for a vote with 4 people because the potential of a tie is there, but do y'all want to vote on it?
Well, I think I've made my position clear. I will go with the majority, obviously. It is a party. But I think it's foolish to rush in and negotiate, fail, and fight, or just rush in and fight a dragon when 2 of the magic users are pretty burnt out.
Yeah, like I'll tell you guys now, Rhodes really does not have a lot of magic pass cantrips going for him at the moment. A couple first level slots, that kind of thing. So if we need to rely on healing, that's not going to be good. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as well. So that's not helping my decision at the moment.
One quick question for the DM. How big is this tunnel that we're in right now?
I believe it's 20 feet across.
Too big for us to potentially block off with tiny hut. Oh no, it's a 10-foot radius. We could totally block that with tiny hut.
What do you, just camp here?
Yeah. Camp the sucker's doorstep. Let's block him inside his hut, in his house, and it's the best kind of compromise because I'm not going to be happy and you guys aren't going to be happy. If nobody's happy, it's a fair deal.
Sounds good to me.
I can think of a hell of a lot worse things to do.
Problem is, guys, we just had a short rest. So you can't really short rest and then long rest right away.
The issue more is that you had a long rest fairly recently.
Yeah, it's not nighttime either.
So then give us a ruling, Ryan. The tiny hut lasts for 8 hours. Presumably we would be here for at least 16 hours?
Yeah.
So that's 2 castings of tiny hut. Is Katiara able to ritual cast it while maintaining the spell, or would he have to use a spell slot to throw it up in a hurry if it suddenly fell?
He has to sit in it.
Yeah, but...
Right, but he's talking more about the timing.
Yeah, when we're down to 7 hours and 50 minutes, is he able to like start casting a new one, or does he have to use a spell slot to throw it up? And does Katiara have a 3rd level spell slot? If that were the case.
I'm just checking that.
At worst, I say we go ahead, and if things
I-
don't go well, we run like hell.
I've got 2 3rd level slots. So I can ritual cast it, and if something happens while I'm trying to do the ritual, I can just snap it.
Yeah, here's the thing. The casting time on the spell is a minute normally. So there is no quick tiny hut. Like he can't just do it in an action, even if he's using a spell slot.
Ah, dang it.
That said, it just says it's an 8-hour duration. There's no concentration on it or anything. So if he starts casting before the tiny hut is done, he can cast another tiny hut before the first one disappears.
Right, and it's basically a trancing deal for my rest.
We're not in a position where we can rest right now, and our choices are we walk out of here or we move forward. So at this point, honestly, it might be worth just going forward, and if things go wrong, we are running like hell.
Trying to outrun a dragon?
Don't worry. If it comes down to it, I can buy you all some time.
I can give us either pass without trace or silence, but not both.
I think pass without trace would serve us better. Silence doesn't follow us.
I agree with that.
Okay, so we've got 3 options. You guys leave the cave, stay where you are, and tiny hut twice, or move forward without all of your spell slots.
Move forward. I said it first, so that's what we're doing.
It's a vote,
Yeah.
silly. This is the
That's
way
it.
to break it if you've got 4 people and 3 options.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm for moving forward but not looking for a fight, just figuring out where things are more than anything.
I'll vote for moving forward, but we'll compromise to camping in the tunnel if we can't agree.
Okay, Tiara, what's your vote?
I don't like it, but I said I'd go with a majority.
There is no majority right now.
There is, too. And I'm not going to go for a split
That's-
vote. I'm not going to go for a split vote. I'm not going to put us through that.
Well, then wait the vote. Say that you'd rather rest in the tunnel. That's the compromise.
Nope. Forward.
All right. The party prepares to move forward.
Okay, I don't know how to get past this wall, so what's our plan?
Well,
We have for melting things.
Well, it's going to be slow and boring, but it's only a foot. We could light a fire.
Are we still trying to be quiet?
I would say so. We want to come up to him on our terms, not on his. And hopefully we can just see where he is and scamper off once we get a look and figure out how big and how old the being is.
I'll hold off on trying to push through the ice then, I guess.
I mean, I have no way to apply heat other than just simply lighting a couple of fires and letting it melt. Does anybody else have a way to do better?
Not me.
Tempus, did you run up there?
I do think that Tempus started moving forward. Yeah, he probably wouldn't have gone past Yaereene until everybody else was moving, but I think so.
Okay. Remind me, were you in the middle of fighting like the zombies and undead and stuff in the previous battle?
I got to melee range a few times, but I don't think I actually got stuck in quite effectively. I would still smell like frog guts, though.
Okay. Yeah, you guys were all in amongst the zombies after they were killed, though. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely searched the bodies.
Right.
Oh dear.
So you head in, and I don't know what your passive perceptions are like.
16.
I'm a beast at 10.
11. Rhodes is 16.
My buddy.
15.
Anybody with a 15 or higher, you feel air very subtly moving across your skin, and you hear the faint sound of, and a low rumble shakes the cave. Ysmyr, you also hear, all of you hear kind of a growling sound. Ysmyr, there's going to be a message coming to you.
Okay. With that, Ysmyr's going to move forward in front of the others and kind of hold up a hand so they stay quiet, but she's going to be like, in Draconic, not the undead, they're enemies. We come to just speak.
Again, you feel this sensation and hear the sniffing of the air and more growling and rumbling.
You don't like that for an idea, Ysmyr?
Shh, you, busy.
He nods.
Unintentionally, here, where we found the undead looking to invade your lair, and we took care of them. We were unsure if you were aware. And to the others, she will look back and whisper, he knows undead were here, thinks we are them. I'm trying to talk him out of it.
Well, is there any music dragons like that you know of?
Bad
Tiara,
thoughts right now.
Tiara, maybe put up that hut if you're going to. It'll take a minute, but it might guarantee us a bulwark.
Now I have to cast it with me inside it, right?
Yep.
And is Tempus that far ahead?
Yeah, he said he moved ahead to that position.
I mean, if the thing is growling and there's talking and you guys stayed back there, then I'll come back there.
Yeah, you guys do hear another series of low growls reverberating through the cave.
Whoa. Yaereene, back. Like it's 10-foot diameter, so Tempus, you've moved too far ahead again, but...
Okay, to the new growls, Ysmyr will say, the silver is no threat, and how, if you are listening now, can we speak from here?
The silver is no threat. Is that a persuasion or a deception?
I kind of want to say persuasion.
I give her aid. I'm proficient.
You're busy casting a spell, aren't you?
Oh, damn you with your logic.
Yeah.
So you
Okay,
want-
give me a persuasion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, these rumbles reverberate through the hallways.
Because she is talking to you right now and asking for you to listen. Not only that, she is not even a full silver.
So just to be clear, the rest of us are hearing these great big, like, rumbling growls, and then Ysmyr is speaking in some sort of strange language in front of the rest of us. Is that about right?
And the language that she's speaking in sounds like the growls and rumbles that are filling the cavern. Just her voice is much smaller.
Okay, so she isn't saying this in common, and it's speaking to her in Draconic. Both are in Draconic. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like you guys, that's why I had her explain that what he's saying. She's just been answering him back in the same. I'm only half. I have no intentions of any disrespect to you. Least of all, here, we are dealing with the undead, and coincidence only brought us here. There is a lich rising in the north, and it is likely to cross your path. We strictly wanted to make sure you knew.
More growlings.
He is raising an army and many followers. Just be warned, your territory may be at a threat from him, not us. But if you are warned, we will leave. Thank you for listening. And then she will turn back to the others and start making hands like, we should go. He's aware of the undead. He doesn't sound friendly to them, but we should really go.
Then we'll get moving. Rhodes in the lead, Yaereene, I think, after him, Tiara in the middle, then Ysmyr, Tempus at the rear.
Ysmyr's gonna, be more at the rear. Sorry, you said Ysmyr, then Tempus?
I figured you'd go next to Tiara and I'd take up the back because I'm beefy, but if you want to insist on the rear, I'll listen.
She just wants to be near the rear, so if he keeps talking, she can keep talking.
All right. But yeah, we'll get moving, which will take us back into the other caves pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, shoot. If anything, everyone just be ready to move.
Oh, I am very ready to peace out.
Ysmyr's going to pause. I agree. I've lost many friends. As we were traveling through the forest, we saw they had a bone dragon, or a skeleton of one. If you need allies, seek us out. We don't want them here either. We are fighting them as we can. We're moving north to find... Well, honestly, at this time, there's not as much that we can do against great hordes. But we are going north to find a way to fight back. And there's a city that stood through one of their large waves once already. And they are doing their best to stand against them still. But this group, we're doing what we can to bring power to the fight.
More growlings fill the hall. You can note that there's a change in tone to it. It's less threatening sounding and almost conversational, even to those who don't understand Draconic.
Would you be able to tell me what this true power is? I have reason to need to go to the north, and it all ties together. My apologies, fresh Zamanas. I would like you to... Honestly, I don't know how to ask the true power of the north to help us, but if there is something you should wish in the long term that we can do, I would greatly appreciate your power on our side. And what would be a fitting gift for you? Is there something you desire? Give me a moment to consider. And then Ysmyr will look to the others. So, he sees the necromancers as a threat, and keeping in mind he is something we can consider a true power, or the true power of the North. He's willing to consider helping us if we were willing to give him a gift. Something interesting to add to his hoard. Not coins. He has plenty of that. But if any of you have any ideas of what we have...
Well, he definitely cannot have my sword. It is the best weapon and the only one that I can use.
Right. Oh, we have a few options, I suppose.
Want to toss the Doomstar at him and laugh while it burns him to death?
I just look shocked and aghast.
No. Let's see. We still have those 3 gemstones Yaereene found in the catacombs. What is everyone carrying?
We're trying to dump stuff to placate.
We want something interesting.
Respectful.
Respectfully.
I have the history book as well. I don't know if he'd find it interesting because it's possible he lived through some of it, but that is old and rare.
The thing most powerful to me is the wand. If that's what it takes to placate him, I'm willing to drop it. But there's also the gloves of thievery, which, although I'm attuned to it, I haven't really been using much, have I?
That is giving up a lot on your end.
You mean that much to me? I'd rather us all get out of here and keep him happy. Well, actually, I don't know his sex. Their sex, so I should be doing genderless, shouldn't I? I want to keep them happy, and I want to keep all of us alive, because that's what matters.
So, how do we feel for the gemstones? Because we had determined there was nothing about them. They were just some very nice stones.
Yeah, there is nothing magical about them.
Actually, do you want to take the chance of asking him? And now that I'm not concentrating, I can actually aid you on persuasion to find out is he looking for magic items, or is he just looking for nice, sparkly, shiny, and valuable things?
For what it's worth, out of game, I'm going to make an argument for not asking the powerful dragon, would you rather take our magical items that we have in plenty, or perhaps some precious stones that we have, or perhaps the large amount of hard currency?
He'll just say it all. Yeah.
Like, let's not tell him just how loaded we are. Let's give him one thing. I think the stones are a good idea.
We can start with the stones, and if they are not enough, we will add more.
I do think we should ask about the book, too. It is rare and covers interesting history.
First question, though, are the stones on one of us or in the cart?
They're on Yaereene.
They're on Yaereene? Okay.
They're small, so I kept them on her.
Okay, perfect. With that, Ysmyr will turn back to focusing on the lair. We do come bearing 3 precious gems from the tomb of the Canopy King, a alexandrite, an aquamarine, and a topaz. Along with that, we found I'm not sure of your interests, but we do have a history book that is old and full of precious information of times on past. Perhaps you have seen them. If those strike your interest.
The dragon says that it doesn't have any rare and expensive gems in its hoard, and it would be interested in those. It's not interested in the book at all.
Then we would gladly offer these to you as, if not a promise of your aid, hopefully your consideration for it.
The dragon says to leave them by the ice wall.
Of course, Ysmyr will do so. If Yaereene hands her the box, she will take that and set it by the wall.
Of course.
And stand back. And if we have taken up enough of your time with that, we will take our leave. If you consider our offer, please look for Ysmyr Yggdrasil. We'll be heading north.
The dragon says that he will consider your offer over the coming days as he examines the gemstones, and if he decides to help, he will seek you out on your way.
We appreciate the consideration. Great. Reshmanaz. And we will take our leave. And now she turns around and starts shooing everyone.
Before I get shooed, I just bow in the direction and then keep pace with everyone.
Okay. So you guys head back out of the cave and find your horses still well hidden in the trees.
So as we're going to start slowly carting our way on out of there, Tempus is, going to have been fairly quiet for the exit they're in, but then he's going to just turn to everybody and say, "That was amazing! Ysmyr, you actually bargained with a dragon."
Well, it kind of seems to me it was more like her discussing things with another person of her level. And I'm giving her a hard look.
How did you know how to talk to the dragon, Ysmyr?
I learned the language a long time ago. We should keep moving. As well as that went, I'd still like some distance.
Did you learn to talk to dragons in Queen School?
No.
Or did another dragon teach you?
I'm still giving her a hard look.
And I'm walking as I ask everything.
My mother taught me she knew how to speak it.
Whoa, your mom's cool.
Was she an elven queen too?
Nope.
Of course she was, Tempus. That's how queens work.
Right.
Well, not necessarily. She could have just been a princess from another line and her dad was from the royal descent. But yeah, it's possible. However, half elven, right?
Yes. And I told you just a refresher for you all. I did tell you that my father was the one, right? When my sword told me my father was the elven.
Oh, right. So then that means your mom couldn't be.
I don't think you told us anything about your parents at all. In fact, you've been rather cagey about it.
Yeah, I'm with Tempus. You've been dancing hard, even more so than I about my past until I spit up a lung a couple days ago.
Yeah, well, didn't really know much about my father, so couldn't really talk about him.
I'm so sorry, Ysmyr.
You're starting to sound defensive, and I'm sorry. I'll back off.
Would you rather
Obvious-
be called Worm Tamer or Dragon Tongue when we add to your titles?
You don't tame dragons.
You negotiate and you make friends or enemies.
Well, I don't know. That dragon backed right down when Ysmyr told him to sit down and take our gems.
No, that's not what happened.
I just look at Tempest and it's like, dude, read the room.
Tempus, he was ready for a fight because we smelt like the undead. I just convinced him that we were not a threat and asked for his aid against the undead. Whether he gives it or not is going to be a totally different thing.
Speaking of, you promised to clean off the frog guts and stuff earlier. Is that offer still good?
Prestidigitate?
Yeah, yes it is. Ysmyr starts prestidigitating.
For everyone, I hope.
Yep, everyone who wants it. And maybe even if you don't, because gross.
Yeah, I'm in.
And I still let's go. I'd like to get some distance. He's likely to catch up anyway, but I'd still like some distance.
Well, then let's get the horses all racked in and load up and start moving.
But if everyone's game, I say we make some tracks.
Oh yeah, I'm totally behind getting going.
Me too.
Okay.
And so we go.
You guys start heading northwest as Rhodes suggested. And can I get a survival check, Yaereene?
Sure thing.
So she may roll at advantage.
You note that there's a surprising lack of animal tracks in this area. You're not really seeing much of anything.
Are there undead tracks?
No.
So is this the direction that we saw all the animals fleeing from?
Yeah, they were heading southeast
Over
across
here
the
on
lake.
that. Okay, I let everybody know that there's not much of anything. Can we stop for a second?
Yep.
Okay, I would like to sense if there's either undead or humanoids within 5 miles. Because I'm feeling a little paranoid right now.
Okay. You stop and sense, and you don't sense either.
Okay, I let everybody know all of that. Rhodes, how far did we think your city is?
Yeah, best estimate is that it's going to take you a long, long time yet.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about their city not being where we left their city. Do I see anything else out of the ordinary in the tracks?
Not really, no.
Okay. I guess for now we'll carry on.
Well, our options are limited, so yeah, I agree. Our best bet is to just keep going.
Okay. So you get to the end of the day, and continue. You continue across a frozen river, and still aren't seeing anything in the way of humanoids or undead. Anytime that you stop to sense, there's nothing there, and still not much in the way of tracks or anything.
Yaereene, Tempus, can you find a secure spot to put up for the night? Somewhere not in the open. I don't like how quiet it's been.
I was guessing that Tempus would likely help me find.
Yeah, Tempus will give you advantage. Okay. Yeah, you find a reasonable amount of cover for the night.
And despite having the tiny hut and stuff, I think it would be nice to have some watch.
And yeah, while you guys are camping through the night, Rhodes does some figuring, thinking about his journey to Nordgard and how long it took, and taking into account that now there's a ranger and horses, so it's going a fair bit faster. But he figures it'll probably be roughly a month to get up to Thessalora.
Well, we knew it was a long trip. If for nothing, no one has anything going on, I think we're just gonna try and move fast.
Well, I mean, Tempus is going to sneak away from camp in the middle of the night, but that's about it.
Ryan, I'm sending you something.
Okay. Tempus, where are you heading to in the middle of the night?
Well, I mean, tell me a little bit about where we're camping. Is there like a convenient bush or escarpment that I can just, sneak off to and have some quality Tempus alone time?
You can give me a survival check to see if you can find something like that.
Coming at
Yep.
you with a mighty 11.
Yeah, 11's good. You do a little bit of scouting around the area and you find a nice spot where you can have some quiet Tempus time.
Okay, Tempus sneaks off and comes back probably after an hour.
Do any of us notice this?
That depends. Tempus, are you doing this on your watch, leaving the group unguarded, or are you going on someone else's watch?
I am going on somebody else's watch. I am not quite that irresponsible yet.
Okay. Whose watch were you going on?
Let's roll for it. I'll be heading out on the first watch that isn't mine.
We should have decided what the watch order.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Well, here's a time to retroactively do it. I propose it be Rhodes' watch first.
I'm going to quickly roll some dice, and depending on the number, that's whose watch it is. You said Rhodes' name first, so we'll see what watch Rhodes has. That's first watch of the night.
Moo-hoo, ha-ha. I sneak off on Rhodes' watch for about an hour.
I guess we'll see if he notices. That's perception, right, Ryan?
Yep. Yes, Rhodes notices.
Problem is, I feel like Rhodes doesn't know everyone enough to push, and yet at the same time, he's also a character who would push. So I don't know what to do. He at least knows.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. After that long rest, we level up to level 8, don't we?
Yes.
Yay!
Very yay.
So Tempus is being Tempus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do, and you're deflecting as usual.
What? Deflecting? What am I, Ysmyr or something?
It's a gift.
No. Ysmyr doesn't deflect. She dances around. All right, so everybody is ready to go?
I think so.
Okay. So you guys wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, more powerful than ever before, and you see Yaereene crying.
Oh.
And Tempus will immediately rush to her side and start trying to comfort her with, everything. Like, Yaereene, what's wrong? I made you some breakfast, and he's going to pull, just some random thing out of his pocket and start, rubbing her back and being like, no, cheer up, it's not so bad. What's up?
Just give her a moment, Tempus.
All the animals, they went to him and they asked, and there's a war between light and dark, and there's a world that's going to be broken,
dragon?
and they need saving.
What world's going to be
and the
broken?
dragon is crying. It's so sad. I'm pretty sure it's ours. Yeah, pretty sure, but not 100% sure. Just pretty sure. I think we need to wake up the Stormlord, and I don't know how to.
I've tried. You've tried.
I think we have to keep trying, and I think the dragon is waking.
Which
And
dragon?
he's so tired, or they're so tired.
Not Reshaman's blah 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 blah.
No, I don't think that was the dragon. Ryan, did it seem like the same dragon?
No, completely different.
I don't think that was the dragon. I think the dragon is either the Stormlord, or it's the Stormlord's dragon, or somebody the Stormlord likes.
Okay, I'm a little bit lost. You had a dream that showed the ending of the world, is that right?
Well, no. The dragon's trying to protect the world. I think they need to wake up the dragon. And he's kind of chill, or he or she. I'm not sure. But anyway, they're really, really pretty.
They're pretty in which color?
Kind of teal.
Like a tealy blue-green.
Okay, so we just need to wake up a dragon. Where's the dragon and how do we wake them?
I don't know, but I think we're going in the right direction.
Well, that's perfect. No need for tears then.
It was just so sad.
All right, I turn to Rhodes. Well, do you have any legends of a dragon in your area?
No, Rhodes has never heard of a teal dragon before.
Well, that does that.
He said he was waking up
And I'm assuming that Yaereene has never heard of that. Can I make a nature check?
or a religion check.
Nature, you can do a nature or a religion check, sure. Or both if you want.
They're the same to me.
This isn't familiar to you guys at all.
They're so tired though. I think they might have tried to protect lots of worlds.
Ryan, with KTR's love of old stories, legends, etc., is there any chance that this teal dragon is part of the ancient lore?
You can give me a history check.
So frustrating. It was on a 19 and became a 3.
It's not ringing a bell.
So you think they've been protecting the world, but they're tired. But the fact we're going north seems to be helping.
Different worlds over
Different
and over
worlds.
again.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying we're talking different planes of existence?
I'm not sure really how it all works. I don't know a lot of magical stuff, and that sounds kind of magic-y. But they've been fighting this war over and over again on lots of different worlds and coming to all of the worlds. And now they're so tired.
Do you have some sort of means of communing with this Stormlord, Avatar, Dragon, Spirit creature?
I have dreams sometimes.
Well, Yaereene, you do have the stone in your head, so maybe if you touch it and focus on it, you can do it when you're not asleep.
Okay, I'll try. What I ask?
Well, I would say the first obvious thing is you have a teal dragon in your pocket you're not telling us about.
What do they need?
That seems like a weird question to ask.
I would ask what they need.
I
Okay.
would ask if they could somehow, let us know where they are, and then Rhodes and I can figure out a way to let Tempus know where they are. If they're tired and need a hand with fighting war, who better than the god of war, Tempus?
Yeah, Big Tempest would probably be a good ally.
I like Ysmyr's question, so I'll ask that one first. So Yaereene will sit down and get really comfy and ignore everybody else. She'll have her back to everyone, and she'll put her hand on the stone and concentrate and ask, what do they need?
Ryan, because I have some contact with the Storm Lord before, could I aid her?
And Yaereene, there is no response.
She'll sit and wait about 15 minutes because she doesn't want to seem rude or impatient.
Okay, and at the end of the 15 minutes, you still haven't heard anything.
Fair enough, but she feels a lot better about it. No, nothing. I can't see. I don't have anything right now, you guys.
Thanks for trying. I mean, I'm sorry that we took the time for the attempt, but I kind of thought it was worthwhile.
You did say that as we go north, we seem to be on the right track to help.
I think so far.
Well, pay attention, I guess, when you get more answers, and we'll keep going, I suppose.
I would just say every time that we make camp at the night, you try and commune and think if we're still going the right way, and until there's a divergence, we just keep going the way to the north that we're doing.
After Yaerene's attempt, is there anything else that's going on this morning?
I just said she's going to think thank you thoughts at the stone, even though she didn't get an answer.
And as we get underway, Tempus is going to take some time to try and comfort and cheer up Yaereene. He doesn't fully understand the metaphysics of what exactly is going on, but he knows that she's feeling a lot of pressure, and so he's going to try and take her mind off things and tell her, funny stories about the Jagged Tusk.
And that helps immensely, since she's now apparently one, so she needs to learn.
And on we travel.
Okay.
KTR is just going to play cheerful tunes while we're going along, like legendary ballads about great feats by great parties.
Okay. Yaereene, can you give me a survival check?
Sure can.
Towards the end of the day, you are starting to see more tracks resuming in this area now. It looks like life is coming back to normal the further away you got from where all of the undead were, and you're seeing lots of interesting tracks. Nothing too scary looking here. You figure you're probably still fairly close to the road that led to past the Temple of the Sun. So you're not in deep woods at this point. So yeah, it's looking okay.
What would be the most interesting of the interesting tracks?
You're seeing signs of large wildlife, moose and deer, and you have seen a few humanoid tracks through the area, kind of scattered about. Nothing in large numbers. Probably, uh, probably smaller things like goblins, maybe an orc track.
Okay, I'll share that information with the rest of the group. And am I searching for a space to camp now, guys?
Well, if an entire day's travel passed without incident, I guess, yeah.
I guess that's our best bet.
Will Tempus
Oh,
help?
Yeah, I'll help so you can roll at advantage.
Yeah, you find a pretty decent camping spot with Tempus's help, and you can set up camp for the night.
Can I see what is nearby with both humanoid and undead?
Sure. You do find a smattering of humanoids. No one dead in the region. The humanoids aren't in large concentrations. It looks like there's probably like small groups camped together, but nothing that you would call a tribe.
Thank you.
And can I get the night watch order?
Rhodes will go first, followed by Tempus.
Ysmyr, then Yaereene and Katira in some form.
Oh, I said I'd take third. Sorry, I didn't push.
I'll take fourth then.
And Tempus will sneak off during Ysmyr's watch.
Does she notice? And she had an 11 to see it.
Shall I roll a stealth against that?
If you're being stealthy.
Oh,
The 12 wins. Tempest sneaks out of the camp.
just barely.
Presumably you'd notice that I was gone because I'll be gone for an hour, but yeah, you've no idea where I've gone to.
So you're conceding she probably notices you're not there, though.
I mean, I don't know, like, we all have tents and stuff, so maybe you're not checking on the boys' tent, but I don't know. Up to you.
Then she doesn't know.
All right, then I sneak on back after I've been gone for about an hour.
That sounds like a second stealth check.
Oh, hold on. You're not sneaking back just yet.
Oh dear.
Oh dear!
I don't like all those dice.
That was what, 20s?
Ysmyr, during your watch, where are you doing your watch from?
What's around us again? Because I would say not directly in camp, but if there's like a tree or something, she's probably like leaned up against that, watching the area.
Yeah, there's lots of trees. You're in forest right now, so you're not in the tiny hut for your watch.
Oh right, sorry, I forgot that would be up. I guess she would be in the tiny hut, but she's kind of like circling the edges, keeping an eye there.
Sure. Give me a perception check, please. As you're circling about, keeping watch, you note that the horses outside appear to be agitated.
Okay, if that's the case, then Yaereene just went to bed. She would go looking for probably Rhodes and Tempus because they have been sleeping the longest to get their attention. But otherwise, she's going to keep an eye.
As you sit and wake up Rhodes, the horses suddenly go berserk as a large white dragon lands on top of one of the horses and begins devouring it.
Rishzamanas?
You say that out loud?
Yep, in Draconic.
The dragon looks up, doesn't see anything, and kind of lets out a low growl and says that you understand to be, your voice sounds familiar. How do you hide from me?
Since she has Rhodes awake, she's gonna have him waking up the others.
Everybody would wake up. Sound of the dragon, and the horses now are in full flight. Like they've broken.
They're gone.
They're running.
She will just step out of the tiny hut because she can go back in. I am assuming that is an addition to the gift of gems we left you before.
The dragon looks down at the dead horse and says, I didn't see you there. I didn't know they were yours. Hunting has been poor in this region since the undead came in. I saw a pack of horses and decided to eat.
Well, we have noticed that there's not been very much up north for creatures. I understand your choice. The deed is done. Enjoy the meal.
I will. And he goes back to tearing the horse apart.
All right, KTR from inside the hut is like, can you get anything else out of this since he's taken and disrupted our travel?
I understand you are hunting. Is that the only reason for your company? If so, we will leave you to it.
I have considered your first gift, he says before tearing off a haunch and swallowing it whole. I could be persuaded to help you.
I am pleased to hear that. What, may I ask, would further interest you in assisting us?
Who is this us? I see only you.
I have allies nearby as we were traveling as a group. They are currently hidden for safety while we sleep. You saw how I appeared from nowhere.
I must admit I was rather preoccupied.
Do you want me to drop Tiny Hut and reveal us, or do you want others to walk out?
You don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, fair.
If you will allow their safety, I can have them come out.
This sounds like another bargain.
Well, then I will have them stay where they are, and you and I can converse.
Very well.
But I do appreciate that you are still willing to consider working with us. What, may I ask, has brought you to further consider it?
Those gemstones were intriguing, very beautiful, and a worthy addition to my hoard. If you are willing to part with such gifts, perhaps there might be more payment for my aid.
I am sure we can bargain something out, whether now for some aid or something for the future, depending on, unfortunately, that may be dependent on what we come across, but I'm sure we can plan something out.
I don't think you understand. I'm not at your beck and call to come when you wish. Is there something you need of me now?
There was a horde of undead heading for just outside your cave towards the city of Norgard. If you have a dislike of them and maybe would like some thrill of the hunt, it would soothe my mind to know that it would be greatly harried in its travels. On top of that, they were walking far too freely through the power of the North's Lair.
I could do this. It sounds a dangerous task. You spoke of seeing undead dragons in their midst. Yes?
That I did. Unfortunately, we were not powerful enough ourselves to face it.
I will need a gift of some worth for this. No mere coins or gems.
I understand. If I may, I will go converse with my allies, and we will pick out what I hope is a suitable gift.
Excellent. I will finish my meal.
And Ysmyr will nod and step back into the tiny hut. And just to save time, she will explain the conversation that just took place.
Well, what do we want to offer?
At this point, I would say something magical would do better.
It doesn't seem to be interested in lore.
I would say we have plenty of coins, but he's not interested in that. He wants not necessarily bigger, but bigger, if in a sense.
It seems he likes something worth monies, but rare and exceptional, and preferably old. Not books. He was fascinated by those gems.
He likes the gems, but he does not want more gems. And to convince him to go face that horde we saw going to Nordgard, I feel it's going to be a large price.
Tempus, how are you approaching the group right now?
I think about halfway through my my alone time, I realized what was going on, and I am sneaking on back.
Can you give me a stealth check, please?
Okay, I jump out of the circle.
So as you're sneaking up towards the group, and the others are discussing a prize for the dragon's aid, you watch as the dragon suddenly snaps up from its meal. Its eyes lock on you, and it flies over the dome and lands directly in front of you and growls low in its throat before saying in common, "You look like a tasty snack. Are you a friend of the half-dragon?"
Well, crap.
Now, as soon as I saw him move, I came out of that, kneeled. I dropped the tiny hut.
It is the dragon's turn right now. It moved and spoke.
What language did it speak in, Ryan?
It spoke in common.
Awesome.
Do we need to roll initiative?
It's just talking right now. It depends on what Tempus says.
Have we figured out an order of operations here? Am I going to answer the dragon before anything else?
Yes. Basically, the dragon flew up to you and said, "You look like a tasty snack, and are you a friend of the half-dragon?"
I might just stick in your throat. Who's the half-dragon?
Ysmyr.
Excuse me?
Did I stutter, orc?
Hold that thought, dragon.
As you go to move around its space, it blocks you.
Can I hear any of this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the discussion is quite loud on the dragon's part.
Okay. Then, yes, Ysmyr will speak loudly. Interconic to keep his attention. Yes, that one is a friend. And she'll also, step out again.
The dragon says, "Very well," and allows Tempus to pass. And the rest of you have now heard that Ysmyr is a half-dragon, according to this white dragon.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Completely ignoring the Rashman Almanaz, Tempus is going to say, Ysmyr, is that true? Are you half a dragon?
Yes, but that's not important right now.
That is awesome!
What?
Not only are you the queen of elves, but you're the queen of dragons?
I'm not the queen of dragons.
She is no queen of dragons.
You be quiet. I'm talking to Ysmyr, the queen of the
Tempus.
north.
Tempus, Not right now.
Tempus, maybe let the dragons talk a dragon?
Major facepalm on Ysmyr's part.
Well, that's where I've left it. Ball's in your court now.
We were just discussing payment, and then I will talk to you about my paternal history. But the power of the North, and she strongly points at Rzamanaz, was willing to consider helping us with that horde that was heading towards Nordgard with proper payment. We were just discussing that. If you would join the others, we can finish and go from there.
If Ysmyr's telling me to get in the dome, I'll move to the edge of the dome.
The dome doesn't seem to halt conversation inside of it, so we need to be aware of that.
And Ysmyr will bow to Resh and just say, I'm sorry for the interruption. If you would like to continue your meal, we'll finish talking about your payment.
I'm about done that one, but I'll find more to eat while you discuss. And he flies off after the rest of the horses.
Oh no.
Damn it. Okay. Well, all right, everyone. So, I think magic item to pay him before he eats all our horses as well.
I would like to ask Romy where the nearest place is that we can procure more horses.
You mean Rhodes?
Yes.
There's no outposts of civilization anywhere nearby that Rhodes knows about.
We had a couple spares, but we really don't want to lose too many, so...
We have no idea how many snacks he's going to have. So, worst case, we got to figure we're legging it until we get to the next place. And we have to leave the cart behind.
So again, what are we giving him?
As before, I said I'll offer any of my magic items. He doesn't really seem to be that fascinated by them, though, so I don't know how much worth that is.
He doesn't know you have them.
I have a bow, a cloak, or a quiver.
You need those, Yaereene.
I mean, giving up my gloves of trickery isn't going to really affect me that much. Giving up the wand of fireballs? Yeah, that's a bit more of a thing, isn't it?
That has been handy for you to have.
As I said before, anything I'll have, I'll give up for the group because I want the group to succeed and survive. It's not about me being able to do things. It's about us succeeding.
We also have some scrolls and potions.
Oh yeah, I have an unidentified scroll of first level, but I mean, it's first level. I really don't think being on a Russian's level is going to give a damn about a first level scroll.
I'm just thinking.
I get it. It's a lot to think about.
I would say, honestly, your wand is probably something that would be very interesting.
But do we want the dragon having the wand?
If that's what it takes to have a white dragon assault that horde going on north, well, we keep heading north.
Or we take some of the potions and the gloves, and he hits those with the understanding that if he feels it is too dangerous, he can leave. It's not necessary to go back.
Out of curiosity, we're all in the hut right now, right? Have we decided that that's like he can't hear us in the hut? That's safe?
He's off chasing
No,
horses.
he's dicked off. He's going off after the horses. He wants meal.
Okay, then why are we negotiating with terrorists? He is going to keep taking from us for as long as he can, unless anybody wants to roll a sense motive check to disagree. We have a full rest. We have all our resources. Let's kick his ass.
He's willing to go, as far as we know, pester the horde heading for Nordgard.
Tempus, I would say, well, if he was being difficult, that would be a very sound argument. He is actually saying, yeah, you know what? I'm willing to kick their ass. What are you going to give me to make it worthwhile?
Do we believe him?
That's all in Ysmyr. We don't know because all the negotiations have gone through her.
Ryan, for sake, can I do a belated insight check?
Sure. Yeah, you're not, as familiar as you are with your own kind. It's hard to get a read on the white dragon.
Mm-hmm. I'm suggesting the gloves and potions because I can only take his word for the time being. And those are the items that have been less helpful to us. We haven't used them, and yet they still have power. It's just we haven't delved into it.
I throw my gloves of thievery at Ysmyr's feet and say, they are yours, war leader, to use as you decide.
Gloves, any scrolls that we haven't used, or potions that, like there's that, what is it? Blue and gray layered potion we've had forever that we haven't used.
I have a scroll of detect magic.
I've got a first level scroll. I don't think it's going to do much, but if you think that that is amping it up, I'll throw it in.
Okay. Anything else?
So you want the spell scroll?
If you don't think you're ever going to use it, sure.
Okay, I just removed it along with my gloves from my inventory.
And we still have that silver scale mail. We'll tack that on as a, hey, you get to display, we'll hold on to that. Okay, so gloves of thievery, detect magic scroll, brown, silver, gray potion, first level scroll. That it?
Yep. I mean, if you want me to throw in the wand of fireballs, I'll do it, but I'm hesitant.
Hold on to that for now.
Actually, I'm not using the long sword of wounding or shit because I'm a ranged person. I will throw in that if you want it.
I would hold on to that just in case.
All right.
I'm trying not to get rid of our weapons and stuff yet. And if everyone's good with that, Ysmyr will step out again with the items in hand.
Before you can, I think Tempus would grab you by the arm and say, Ysmyr, nothing good will come from dealing with him like this. Please, let us fight him. Let us put him in his place.
If this doesn't work, we're going to be in for a fight anyway. But if there's a chance that there could be some bolstering to Nordgard, I would feel better about that. That's what I'm thinking about.
I just look at Ysmyr and nod. I'm supporting her decision.
Now, Tempus will let go of your arm and step back.
She'll look back at him. If he flies off and takes these and that's it, that's it. If he flies off, if he doesn't accept it and is looking for the hunt, then we get our fight. I just don't want to pick a fight yet. If this helps people, though, I would feel better about it.
So as you finish saying that, the dragon returns, a dead horse in its claws, as it lands just outside the tiny hut. And it asks in Draconic, "Have you decided on a payment yet for my services?"
We have. And she steps out, comes close enough, and lays out the magical gloves, the detect magic scroll, the first level scroll, and the brown, silver, and gray potions. I understand if this is not enough for you to go diving into a huge fight, but if you can harry and hinder, that would be greatly appreciated.
He looks at the pile of magic items that you've dropped and gives them a sniff. Give me an insight check. You can sense that even though his eyes are on the pile of magic items that you've dropped, when he looks up at you, he's not looking at you like your eyes speaking to you. He's looking at the treasures that you wear on your person. But he nods and says, "This should be enough for an assault against the undead. I will stop at my lair first to feed my young, and then I shall engage the undead.
I understand. The young need to eat. There were also some living among the undead, so I'm sure you'll find plenty for them there.
Excellent. A great hunt, I am certain.
Hopefully you enjoy yourself against them.
With one of his front claws, he scoops up the items that you've laid in the snow at his feet, and he nods to you very slightly and says, "Farewell, Ysmyr. May we meet again."
Good luck in your hunt, sir.
And he flies away with a horse and the treasure. Can you type out in Discord the treasure that you gave him?
Yep.
And as the dragon flies away, what are you guys doing?
What time of day is it?
It is the very early hours of the morning, during the last watch.
Okay. Well, Ysmyr will walk back into the hunt and just look super tired.
Well, Lord Leader, you've had a day. Take a bit of a nap before we go at it again.
I think we have some questions for you, though.
Let her rest.
I'm not. No, it's fine. Ask her questions. And she walks over to like her bedroll and just sits down.
You're part dragon?
Yes,
Why didn't you ever tell us that?
because more for my safety than anything.
What's unsafe about us knowing that?
How many half dragons do you know?
Apparently one.
And on top of that, how well liked are dragons?
Kind of on how many people they're eating.
It was easier just to keep it under wraps. I prefer people not knowing because there's stigmas, and I may only be half, but that doesn't stop dragon hunters necessarily. And it's easier to get around in the world when you're not half dragon.
Are you ashamed of your heritage and who you are?
No.
Are any of the rest of you hiding any other really big things like this? As an FYI, I'm not a dragon or anything else really exciting.
You all can trust me about pretty much anything. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Yaereene turns around to look at her own bottom.
All right, I'm just going to start playing a very, very casual tune, trying to give my appreciation for all the magic, for all the awesomeness that a dragon has.
Well, that's a very well performed song about how awesome dragons are.
And I'm just going to look up to Ysmyr and say, "You're a warborn. The fact that you're a dragon is just a blessing on top. You know? Thank you."
Honestly, my feelings are a little bit hurt that you didn't think you could trust us with this prior to now.
I haven't trusted anyone with this.
Have you gone on a quest to save the world with anyone before us?
No.
Have you put your life in the hands of someone with the same amount of frequency and trust that you've put into ours?
Not for a long time.
Hence, I'm still a little bit hurt.
Katiara bumps Tempus and is like, she has had a very valid amount of trust issues. I agree with you. It's kind of sad it's taken this long. But we haven't had to deal with everything that she's feared. Can we not just give her a hug and let her know we love her?
Tempus, you're allowed to be a little hurt. But I want you to understand this is something that I've kept to myself for longer than you've been alive. It's perhaps become habit to keep it secret. But on top of that, I've seen what you all do with my secrets. It became harder to speak up about it. So, if If you don't mind, I'm gonna go find the horses.
Would you like help?
Sure, you're probably better at tracking them than me.
And are you okay?
I'll just quietly get up and offer to assist.
Well, as long as someone's watching camp, I guess we can all get the horses.
I think Rhodes is watching camp while we all go get the horses.
There we go.
Okay.
How many can I successfully track, Ryan?
Well, it's not that hard to track them. I'm not even going to make you roll. So, a ways from the camp, you find another dead war horse, and you can see that all of the tracks have scattered across the forest. So it's going to take you some time this morning, but eventually you do find 3 war horses and 2 of your draft horses still alive.
Is that enough to pull the cart?
Yep, the wagon only takes 1 horse to pull.
Okay. Then at least we still have horses and can repack and get on our way.
And so we shall.
Yeah. And I'll just say Ysmyr is going to be pretty quiet for a little while.
Actually, Tiara is actually going to spend time close to her, and just quietly patting her on the shoulder and trying to give a little bit of confidence. He trusts her. Wants her to know that he does trust her and value her, and he's glad that she is the war leader.
She'll give him a nod, but she's still just going to be kind of lost in thoughts for a while. Probably take over driving the cart for a bit.
Okay.
And thus our quiet group moves on.
There's another day, passes quietly. The tracks continue to be about the same as what you've seen over the past day. Lots of wildlife, nothing looking too concerning or anything. And you come to the end of another day.
I think look for safe camp, all that again. This time make sure the horses are well hidden, or as hidden as can be.
Okay.
I'll look for a great place for us to camp.
And I'll help, as well as I'm going to sneak off on the first watch.
Are we just making Rhodes the first watch again?
I think so. Same order.
Makes sense.
Okay. He'll probably just mind his own business if he notices anything. I guess I'll check.
Wow. You know,
You're fine.
Given that Rhodes' perception is +6 and Tempus' stealth is +1, you'd think Rhodes would be better at this.
Well, he did notice the first time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a master of stealth.
Oh, the rolls are weird today.
My rolls aren't coming through, it appears.
I just saw a survival roll from you.
I don't see that roll, so that's excellent.
Maybe just super delayed.
Yeah, it was +5, so yay.
Yeah, so you find a good spot to camp with plenty of space for the horses to be hidden from aerial assault again.
And yeah, I guess if the night passes without incidents, without Rhodes realizing Tempus snuck away with no more dragon visits, are we able to make it another long rest and continue on in the morning?
Yep.
And I'll just say on the road, Ysmyr's a little less like, oh, no. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask.
Does she tell us, feel free to ask?
No.
Well, then I think Tempus is going to continue respecting your space, but all right.
I guess then we keep going.
Ysmyr, or Yaereene, can you give me a survival check, please?
If it's something I can help with, please let me do so she can roll at advantage.
You bet. As you are making your way through the woods, you do see tracks that are a little more concerning than previous days, as there are huge humanoid tracks throughout this area.
Have I ever encountered whatever made these tracks before?
I don't think so.
Okay, I let people know that there are really huge tracks, and they seem to be humanoid.
Giants again?
Ryan, do they look like giants' tracks to me?
Yes.
So I say yes. How many do I see?
It's hard to say. They're not going in any particular direction. It looks like they've been just in this area, going here and there. So it's hard to gauge numbers.
Can we take a couple minutes for me to sit down and see how many I can find?
Sure.
Does the rest of the party feel good with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm cool.
Okay, we'll do that, and I'll do that for undead as well, Ryan.
Okay. You don't sense any undead. And there are a few humanoids, but they're at the extreme range of your ability, 5 miles.
Thank you. I relayed that on to the rest of the group.
Then do we want to keep going, but when we get closer to where you sense that, try again? Just so that we don't...
We could do so.
It's probably best so we can keep making some tracks, but don't get in a fight.
I nodded in agreement.
Okay, sounds like a plan. And Ryan, as we go, I'll try to be actively watching out for more recent tracks.
Okay. So, as a point of curiosity, you have 3 war horses and 2 draft horses. I assume one of the draft horses is pulling the wagon.
Yep.
And Ysmyr's driving the wagon. Who is riding on the war horses and the draft horse?
I assume that the draft horse would be not as used to being ridden.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same level of training as a war horse.
Can I use speak to animals to talk to it to see if it's okay if one of us rides it today and tell it
Yeah.
we'll give it some really good food at the end of the day as a thank you?
Yeah, it's totally fine with being ridden.
So I'd like to be near the front. Who wants to ride on the draft horse, and do you only want me to take the draft horse up front or one of the war horses?
Whatever works for you, honestly. Like, if the horse is trained, it should go. So you should be all right, no matter what. I would say, if anything, let's have the girls with the draft horses and the boys with the war horses.
I'm fine with that.
Then let's go with that.
We'll call it a night. Thank you guys for the game session, and we'll see what's waiting in the forest for you next time.